But right now, here to break this down for us is Kelly Hyman, trial attorney. Kelly, thank you for being here. So let's just start with the why here. Why would a deal like this take place?
For justice. According to the prosecution, this is a way to ensure that Bryan Kohberger spends the rest of his life in jail. Now, the case was going to go to trial, and potentially the jury could come back and say that he was not guilty or guilty, and then also decide whether or not he could spend the rest of his life in jail, but also whether or not he would be subject to the death penalty.
And I wonder, too, just in the nature of potentially being subject to the death penalty, are those cases much more expensive? Is there a reason that maybe the state or the state justice system might say, you know what, actually, it is a better option to just let them take this plea and go with a life in prison as opposed to carrying out what would be a death penalty case, potentially?
From the prosecution standpoint, one argument will be made that he is admitting guilt to these crimes, and also it saves the family from having to go through this trial. I mean, this is a horrible, horrible thing that happened to these beautiful, bright, young college students that were killed in their own home, and potentially that Kphberger could appeal the verdict. And this could happen for years, and the family would have to endure all this. Now, from one family member, they're saying that this is not justice, but it's important for your viewers to remember that the plea deal goes in front of a judge, and the judge could decide that the plea deal is a no-go. And what that means is that the defense will pull back their guilty plea and the case will go to trial.
And look, not to state the obvious here, but waiving the right to appeal. How common is that in situations like this? How significant could that be as part of these proceedings?
It's significant in the sense that based on the plea deal, that Kphberger is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And so he cannot try to appeal it and say there's some basis. So he is currently in jail right now. And based on this plea deal, there is no way he is going to get out of jail. But now some family members feel like that is not justice, that they believe that he should be subject to the death penalty, killed by a firing squad. But we'll see what the judge has to say on this matter and whether he says that the plea deal is in fact accepted.
Yeah. Thank you, trial attorney Kelly Hyman. Really appreciate the insight. Thanks for being here.